Hello and welcome to HyzerMedia's coverage of the back nine of the Birdie Presents the Battle at the Bird's Nest at South Vineland Disc Golf Course in South Vineland, New Jersey. This tournament and coverage is presented by Birdie Disc Golf Supply. Thank you to them, and thank you to our Patreon family for supporting this coverage as well. You can help support us for as little as $2 a month and get access to exclusive benefits. Link for that will be in the description. As for this tournament, we have an exciting back nine for the final round of this coverage. I'm Dave Oster, here to give you the commentary, tell you about it. We're starting off this video, finishing the round on hole 10, par 4, 468 feet. Water carry hole, not quite as much of water nowadays as there was when we filmed this drone coverage, but nonetheless, it is a water carry. These players are going to try to be getting up near this wood line, maybe over into this secondary short layout fairway, and then give themselves an easy approach shot to card the birdie. Alex Nicosia will be giving us the first look at this hole. Wind was definitely in play, as we can see the dead leaves on the trees blowing violently. Water is rippling. And Alex takes it heads on, and beautiful shot right into that fairway that we were looking at in the drone coverage. The guys who take care of this course, the Sidebirds, do a great job. This hole looks tremendous, nice and cleared out, giving you a good look towards the basket. You can see what you're looking at, you can get through there with your disc. So shout out to those guys, great job. Wind looks like it's lifting. Oh, and then dropped Bale's disc to a beautiful position. It was looking like it was going to be a bit too high, get caught up in those trees. Oh, and does the opposite to Jay's disc and turns it over. Not out of bounds, just not in a great position. Has to throw over these little short shrubby trees. Kind of turns it into a roller, gets through a little bit. Not quite on the green, but he'll have a clean third shot from there. Brain just barely catching that tree, kicking short right. Bit a little early release, but he sneaks through there. He'll have a look at the birdie from not the cleanest second shot. And I think that tree helped Alex. I was going to hyzer out, maybe go to 20 feet left side, but he's right under the basket. Oh, and Brain giving the basket a scare. And Jay liked that spot, so he put his disc there as well. Nice birdie by Bill. And Alex as well, not to be overshadowed, he played it perfectly. Bill got a little fancy and snuck through the trees on the left side of the fairway to get his birdie. Alex just played right down the middle like you're supposed to, but both same scores on the scorecard. So 2 birdies and 2 pars on the hole as we move over to hole 11, par 3, 205 feet. Throwing a backhand turnover or forehand line through this lowered section of the hole up to the higher section of the hole, trying to either hit this hill to slow your disc down or land just short of the built up green with the basket to park it for your birdie. Oh. Got a little something, redirected his disc just enough that he then kicked left and away from the basket. He is up there, so it should be an easy par. Depending on what he looks at, he might be able to run it. We'll see. And Bill with a tree direction, putting him back straight. He may actually have a pretty good look from there. He can't be more than 15 or 18 feet. You see Brain with the forehand line. Shapes kind of more naturally for that. And perfect. Right through those last couple trees you got to miss. And parks it. Jay catching some of those ninja branches. Coming up a little bit short, but he might still have a short bit at it. Oh yeah, he's still pretty close. Uphill, definitely not a gimme. Oh, sit. Okay. It does. Bill with a similar distance, just a couple feet to the left. Both guys just a little bit shorter than they wanted to because of some small branches. And Bill nails the birdie. Easy tap in for Brain's birdie. Jay having a little bit of trouble with his cart. Trying to get out of the way so Alex can finish out the hole. And nice putt. So as Jay collects his things, we'll move over to hole 12. Sorry, Jay, didn't mean to call you out like that. Par 3, 356 feet. You're trying to throw across this gully, maybe an old riverbed, something like that. Basket is up the other side, and then maybe another 80 to 100 feet, depending on where you cross. A couple lines, you can go where the drone's going, a little bit farther to the right if you're going to backhand and skip in there. Definitely not an easy hole. It's a very tight, very specific line. To be throwing 350 feet through the woods alone is a difficult task. Plus this line, we'll see how these guys fare. Bill kind of turned it over. Could have been alright, hit a tree. Kind of kicked back to the side of the hill. Probably a typical result for this hole. Oh, and Brain hit an early tree. That's going to be difficult. It's actually like a walking path over to the left side there that I'm not too sure what it looks like from there. But I can't imagine it's good. Alex with a late flip kind of straightens it out. I think he hit the hill and obviously didn't skip up it, but from there, again, that's kind of the typical result. You get to the hill, maybe just to the crest of it, not quite close enough to give it a bit, because there's also a drop off behind the basket and water. So these guys will probably just be laying up for their pars, but Jay and Brain are going to have to do something to get up there. Yeah, these guys are not in good positions. Kind of just short arming some forehands to get out there. Although Jay gets pretty far up there. He's right on that edge, but further to the left where it actually gets closer to the basket. He may have a look at it. Alex at the bottom. He actually is giving it a run. Just a little short, but he is parked for his par. And Bill as well. Maybe not as much of a run, but it'll work either way. Oh, and that was definitely a run. Very close. That was actually to save his bogey. That little tree kick. And obviously the first one off the tee. Giving Jay the bogey as well. So he is now tied with Alex for the lead. definitely difference between the first round and the second round. 7 down for Jay, and he's going the wrong direction at this point. So let's see if he can turn around and keep this lead as we move on to hole 13. Very gettable, par 3. Shortest hole in the course, I believe, 178 feet. Just got to miss these trees on the edge of this hill and get it onto the green, and you'll pretty much have a putt. You also want to have good speed control because of the hard pan dirt. You can skip and go long and go into the woods behind the green and give yourself a difficult look. But that is probably pretty typical, using the ground to slow the disc down. Bill will have a 20-footer for birdie. HyzerMedia does have an Instagram. We post lots of little short highlights and reels and things like that throughout the week of tournaments, of us playing, of all types of disc golf stuff. We are at Hyzer_media. Link for that is also in the description. Go check us out. And good tree kick by Brain. His disc was fading. Looked like to the left a little bit quick, but that's straight about. Alex with the longest look. Ooh, and goes wide right. See if he can make the comebacker to save his par. And he does. Again, not the easiest thing to do. He's a tall fella, and 3 or 4 paces out. That's not a tap-in by any means. And yes, I did just say fella. And Jay back on the birdie train. After Alex's par, he takes the lead again. And good birdie by Brain. He had that double last hole, bringing him back to even par, but bogey straightens back out as well. And good putt by Bill. Now tied with Alex for second. Only 1 stroke behind Jay for the lead, as we only have a few holes to go for this tournament. As we move over to our final water carry hole, hole 14, par 3, 220 feet. The water is most of that distance, probably 200 feet in this footage, maybe closer to 170, 180 feet in the shot that we're looking at now. Obviously, water's a little bit lower this time of year. Oh, and that drop. Oh, look at the wind play with Bill's disc. And still manages to absolutely park it. And we can see the ripples in the water. There's that wind. Left side of this little pond is open towards the larger lake, letting the wind come in there. Jay hitting an early tree, but is across. Most of these guys aren't even really worried about the water. They're the professional division. They're trying to get it close, get a birdie on a short par 3. But I'll tell you, when I'm standing on this tee, my knees are knocking just looking at this water way down. I'm thinking this is definitely a hole where I'm throwing a disc that I don't mind losing. And Alex in almost the same exact spot as he was in the first round. And I believe that was the same dark purple disc. Let's see if he can get a better result than the first round. And he does. So with Jay carding at least a par, Alex is tied for him in the lead, and Bill is right next to the basket. Another good birdie by Brain. He got those 2 strokes right back real quick after hole 12. So Bill taps in the birdie. Jay taps in the par, and we have a 3-way tie for the lead right now. Only 4 holes to go, And this one is hole 15, par 4, 484 feet. We're looking at a dog leg to the right. These guys are throwing backhand turnovers or forehands to try to get around it. And honestly, not a horrible tree kick. They're trying to turn right. Obviously, Bill was a little bit short of the fairway to the right, but he should be able to pitch out. Forehand definitely works for this one if you get it tight enough. Looked like Brain was just a bit too far outside to be on that main fairway, but it's fairly open. There's ways to find different lines throughout the trees if you go long. Short is a little bit tighter. You don't really want to be short right or right side of the second part of the fairway where Bill and it looks like Alex is as well. This looks like a good line by Jay. Needs to keep turning.
Awesome.
Looks like it might have faded out a little bit early. So he'll be on that left side. We'll see what that looks like. And forehand roller. Dug in. Cut back into the wood line. And another forehand roll. That's what I was talking about. This right side, just not very much room to throw stuff in the air. And Bill having, unfortunately, this similar result. Hit something on the ground, and both of them didn't make it much more than 40 or 50 feet. Jay catching a tree. It's not a favorable place to be, but the left side is better than the right. And Alex going back-to-back forehand rollers before we even get to Brain's drive. Pretty good drive. Not directly in the middle of the fairway, but going with the forehand turnover, catching a tree, kicking again to a very similar spot that he was in the middle. Bill actually has a look for his third throw. And a great shot all the way up to the green. Reaching out, patent pending. Catches a little root to stop him from going long. And that should do. Jay hitting an extremely tight gap, hitting the skip shot, little ground play, even closer than Bill's. Great shot by Jay. And Alex says, I'm done throwing forehand rollers. I'm just going to keep it in the air at this point. And does a good job doing so, giving himself a chance to make his putt. Good par save by Bill. Obviously wasn't in the greatest position off the tee. Didn't have a great second throw, but third throw definitely made up for it to make the par save. And Alex had a almost identical hole, except he threw two forehand rollers. And unfortunately carded the bogey, excuse me. As Jay and Brain both tap in their pars. So we're going to go over to a chase card check-in. There are other players in this tournament that aren't on this card but are leading this tournament. Curtis Toe's at a 9 down. They are on their final hole this card. Jacob Alvarez is also at a 5 down. Again, they are finishing their tournament on hole 1 because they started on hole 2 just in front of the lead card. So we're going to watch some of the shots by these guys and see what they wind up so we can tell what our lead card needs to do to finish off this tournament. So not too bad first shots, and the second shots for Curtis and Jacob. A couple shots from the other guys in this card. This is Mitchell. Pretty good upshot, lands it right there. It got a little bit of roll down the hill, not too bad. This is Robbie with his upshot. And here's Jacob's third. Again, he's at 5 down, so he's looking to get close to challenging these guys on the lead card. Oh, that needs to sit. Oh, I think it does. So Curtis has the lead now, but he's a few strokes within these guys, so potentially catchable. Hole 18 is an eagleable hole. Jacob tapping in the birdies, so he is tied for second place with some of these guys, Bill and Jay. So right now they're clinging on to second place, maybe have the ability to push for the lead with 3 holes to go. It's got to start here. Hole 16, par 3, 331 feet. Pretty gettable hole. It's just the backhand hyzer. You can go air shot and try to slow it down by spiking in, or a little bit lower to skip in. This looks a little wide, but it's pretty stable for Bill. A little long, but he's putting on the green, so. Wondering if Brain is going to change his game plan, throwing a forehand roller. Nope, he's not. Oh, and a very bad dig into the ground and makes a right-hand turn. He's all the way over on the beginning of 17 or even 18's fairway. If you watched first round, he was pretty far out right side, but able to pitch up to get his par. On this one, he's very short and very right, so I'm sure he has it in his bag, but he'll need to pull out an impressive shot to get up to the green from this position. And it looks like he does. 25, 30 feet. If I had any recommendations, Brain, I'd say try an air shot. That roller just doesn't seem to be working out for you, unfortunately. And Jay shorted it a little bit off his tee shot. Decent upshot. He should be able to tap in for par. And Bill with the birdie. Now has solo second place. So he is pushing for Curtis's lead. As Jay and Alex are battling Jacob from the chase card for second place. And they're in the clubhouse, so to speak, so they know what the score is. But 2 holes to go, 17, pretty difficult, but could definitely get a birdie. 18, definitely eagleable. So it's coming right down to the wire here. And hole 17, par 3, 319 feet. Got to get it under or over that leaning tree. Many less leaves, and the tall grass isn't in play today. And the basket position is actually longer down that hill that we're looking at, but elevated probably 8 or 9 feet. So from this tee shot, we can still see the basket. But if you get all the way down there, it's a very difficult putt. These guys are probably actually trying to stay higher up on the hill to get a level putt at the basket. But the danger with that is it is so far down, it can go a long ways, and there is water back there if you go too far. Okay, Alex a little bit right side, does get a couple tree kicks back out into the fairway, so you'll have a clean look. Brain trying to go that backdoor route. He had a good putt first round to get the birdie. He's on the opposite side this time. Not sure exactly what that look will be, but probably a similar distance. Back out in the open. The wind is, of course, still in effect as well. Oh, and that just didn't turn quick enough. That was looking good. Threw something very understable. Try to use the full width of the fairway. Maybe get out in the open, then flex it back. But caught that tree early. So now Jay is hoping just to get the par. And that's right on the edge of where he's probably going to have to run it. Knowing the scores, he's probably more likely to run it, knowing that there's actually a three-way tie for second place at this point. Bill giving it a scare, maybe just a little bit hesitant to go full on. Oh, his brain hits the cage. Okay. Alex also hitting the cage. This is a very difficult, like I was saying earlier, 3 cage hits, a couple inches cumulative between these guys. It could have been 3 strokes lower. Fortunately, they all stayed close, so they'll be tapping in. Jay and Alex, unfortunately, carding bogeys. Brain with the par. So now we're in a position where Bill could potentially catch Curtis, but Jay and Alex are now a stroke behind for second place after Jay coming in with the lead for this tournament after the first round. He's now a stroke behind for second place. Alex trying to push for that as well. But again, 18 is eagleable to par 5, 792 feet. First shots, they're just trying to get out into the open. Second shot can potentially clear this fence and give a look to the green for the eagle, like I said. Oh, and Bill, 2 straight catches that bunker tree. That pretty much takes eagle out of the question. Without a full run up, even the biggest arm probably is not clearing that fence. You can certainly get to it or near it, but that's going to be a difficult shot. Alex with a booming backhand. I think he's going for that eagle. He knows the scores. He doesn't want to tie. He wants the win or beat out Jacob for that second place position. And Jay not in bad spot either. Alex's was just kind of next level. So we see what Bill is left with. Has to do whatever he can to get some power behind it without that run up. Kind of a weird footing. Brain not wanting to play with that mound of dirt in the middle again. Leaves a little bit short. Decent approach. So Jay may be trying to clear it from there. Not quite. Wind. I'm not exactly sure which direction it's going, but it could certainly be playing a factor of these guys trying to get it over. And Alex does get it over in 2, and you see how far that was from the basket. That's what he's looking at for an eagle to potentially get solo second place. Bill hitting the fence. Wow, I believe he did land on the other side of it, but just barely. And Brain landing in the little second tier alcove of the built up green. So he is certainly parked. Jay throws over. He's parked. This is Bill for birdie. Obviously a big ass to get it from there. He's pretty much just pitching up. And there's that win for Alex. That was his eagle bid. Oh my God. And that quickly, Alex going from looking at an eagle to now he's got a par. Bill with a par as well. So that does it. There is the results. winner coming from Chase Card, Curtis Toes. We saw him from the first round. Let's go over to Bill DiBiase.
And our winner, going 10 down, correct, on the day? Woo! 10 down, and the poor guy, he was going through it. Curtis Toes!
That was probably the most pain I've ever played in. Thanks for dealing with me, Brain and Billy. The second card, Jacob, Mitchell, and Robbie, they were awesome to play with. We all know buzzers and bosses. And I want to thank my parents for supporting me. That's it. Thanks, guys.
So congratulations to Curtis Toes taking it down from the Chase Card, shooting a 10-17 rated round. Hot round for the second round, 10 down total. Bill coming in second place, Jacob tying with Jay for second place, and Alex falling down to fifth on our lead card. But pretty good golf, very exciting to watch. Thank you all for joining me for it. If you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button, it really helps us out. And we're covering lots of tournaments this year all over the Northeast, so be sure to check those out. And until next time, we will see you on the next hole.